Hi guys, and welcome to TennisTacticsBlueprint.com. My name is Alex.
And I'm Simon, and in this first free video we're going to discuss how to beat grinders. This seems to be one of the biggest problems for most club players, beating grinders consistently and effectively. So what is a grinder?
A grinder is someone who's very consistent, mentally tough, and doesn't give many free points away.
And it's very important to understand that a grinder is not necessarily someone who just plays defensive. They could be very good from the baseline, they could be very aggressive from the baseline, but their whole game is based around being consistent.
There's a few different game styles that evolve from being a grinder. So there could be a moonballer where they actually hit the ball really high.
Someone like Nadal almost.
You can also have someone who's more solid, who hits a little bit flatter, someone like a Simon kind of player, where they're really quick around the court, but actually they don't have a lot of spin. They just block almost the ball back, and they're a little bit more flat on their shots.
And then you have someone who's almost like a junk baller. They give you a lot of junk balls, but they're consistent at the same time, so they don't give you a lot of pace.
Fabrice Santoro comes to mind. Doesn't play anymore, but is one of these players that was very skillful with their racket, but not necessarily a powerful hitter. So he wouldn't out-hit the players, he would outsmart them, he'd make balls, he'd almost make the player lose the match themselves.
They basically force you into making errors. Now the first thing that you always have to remember when you're playing these grinders is being patient. Before you play the match, if you know you're playing a grinder, prepare yourself mentally for a really tough match, a really long match, and long points. And another big thing is, when you have a short ball, never let short balls pass you by. Don't just hit the short ball and run back to the baseline, because then you're going into their web. You're playing the game style of the grinder. Anytime you have a short ball that you can attack, you're going to attack it, you're going to take the short ball on and get into net.
Remember, it's a very good idea to take control of the rally. Once you take control and you've got them on the run, you're the one that's dictating play. Now, a lot of them will be good counter punchers, and that's often the case with grinders. So if they're a good counter puncher, you still have to be quite smart when you come forward, and you have to be really aware of where they could hit the ball, and cover your targets, which we'll go into more detail in our other videos. But it's very important that you take control and stay aggressive. But also play a little bit more within yourself, and give yourself that time to actually take control of the point and move them out of position.
Building the point is very important against the grinders, and again, the patience again. So now let's take a look at one pattern of play that you can use against the grinders.
So let's talk about how to neutralize a grinder. Now, one way of doing so is with a slice. Now, the slice keeps the ball quite low, so it's very difficult for the grinder to bring the ball up, and often they'll give you a short ball which you can attack off that shot.
Now what Alex is going to do against me, I'm going to be the grinder, Alex is going to be the attacker, the aggressive player. Alex is going to hit one slice that has to bounce twice before it hits the baseline. So he's not going for length on this slice, he's going for a short slice, but it's still got some pace on it.
So I'm going to make my slice bounce twice before the baseline. So the second bounce is before the baseline. What this does is it brings the defensive player, the grinder, forward. It's not necessarily bringing them into the net, but it's making them move forward into the court and then exposing this back of the court where I can actually hit my second shot and make them move back to retrieve the second ball. Now, a lot of the grinders, they're actually very comfortable at moving around the baseline, so sideways, laterally, instead of moving forward and back. So forward and back movement often causes these players to not quite hit the same kind of shot and become a little bit more inconsistent.
You're exposing them with this tactic, so let's take a look at this tactic in action.
That's a great way of using that shot. I brought him in forward, and then I moved the ball back, made it go deep, and made him move out of position to hit that ball. Again, guys, practice this shot. It's not always going to come out perfect, but the more you do this shot, the better you'll become at it, the more confident you'll become, and the more you'll be able to use it in the match. can see how difficult it is for him to maintain control of the rally, and he's sliding from side to side trying to get to the balls because he's moving forwards and backwards and side to side, and it's very easy to lose position on the court.
So now you're going to see from the grinder's point of view what he has to deal with when Alex hits that short slice low and it's going to bounce twice before the baseline. And there, that was good enough to win the point straight out. And there you see, if the slice is short and the grinder actually comes in, most of the time grinders don't have great volleys. So the attacking player can then actually win the point by passing the grinder at the net. And that's exactly the type of play that you want against the grinder. Playing patient, Alex hits the perfect slice. I ran in, as most grinders would. I backed off, and he hit the deep one. Simple as that.
So thank you guys, that was video number 1. We will be releasing 2 more videos. Video number 2 coming in the next few days, so please check your inbox. If you like this video, leave a comment below, press the like button. We'd like to hear from you, whether you've learned something, whether you think it's useful, and your experiences, and possibly anything else you'd like to see.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and check your inbox for video number 2 coming in the next couple of days.